Hey, what's going on? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. Thank you for stopping by the State of the NFL podcast. I ask that you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is a channel where we talk about some of the hottest topics in all of the NFL. Hey, what's going on, sports fans? My name is TJ Jones. Welcome to another edition of the State of the NFL podcast, where we talk about some of the hottest topics in all of the National Football League. Before I get started, I ask that you hit the like and subscribe button. Help the channel to grow. I really appreciate that. On this edition, we're going to be talking about something. I'm going to be quite honest with you, sports fans. I can't believe we're still having this conversation. We're talking about Trey Hendrickson and him still not being at Cincinnati Bengals training camp because, of course, the big man wants a new contract. As of right now, Trey Hendrickson would receive about $16 million in base salary this season. And some of you probably saying to yourself, man, I wish I could use $16 million. I wish I had that. Look, and I can't blame you. But when you look at the landscape of the National Football League and you look at what is really going on, you know, when it comes to these edge rushers, these pass rushers, these guys are getting a lot of money. You know, you think about a couple weeks ago, T.J. Watt got a contract extension. He will receive $41 million a year. Then you got Myles Garrett. He received his contract extension a little bit earlier in the offseason. He's going to receive $40 million in base salary this season. And the list goes on and on. I mean, guys like Nick Bosa and, you know, and Danielle Hunter receiving $35 million. And you look at Trey Hendrickson, who had 17 and a half sacks. He led the NFL with 17 and a half sacks this past season. Now, some people will probably say, well, he probably knew that he was up for a contract. He was in the final year of his contract and he wanted to negotiate. Well, take a look at his stats back in 2023 because he had the same exact stat line, 17 and a half sacks. This man had back-to-back 17 and a half sack seasons. And the Cincinnati Bengals have not paid this man yet. According to sources, they're about $6 to $10 million apart when it comes to guaranteed money. They have a contract on the table, but they're trying to work out the language. All I know is what the hell are the Cincinnati Bengals going to achieve without Trey Hendrickson? Now, it's good. They finally signed their first-round draft pick, Shemar Stewart, who was holding out because of the language of the contract. He gets guaranteed money. He gets a $10 million signing bonus for his troubles. But I got to commend Shemar Stewart for standing on business, for staying true to himself, and realizing that, you know, some things need to change. And sometimes you have to be that guy, the first, in order to shed light on some language that needs to be addressed. But this whole Trey Hendrickson thing, I just don't get it. And I don't understand for the life of me why the Cincinnati Bengals constantly put themselves in these type of positions. They have a reputation. They have a reputation for lowballing guys. They have a reputation for being cheap. And the owner, Mike Brown, he came out and said that he hopes sooner rather than later they can come and reach a deal with Trey Hendrickson. But this is just bad, man. Trey Hendrickson is the heart and soul of that defense. I look around the landscape. I'm looking at some of these defensive players, and, man, this defense is going to have some trouble. Yes, the Cincinnati Bengals got a new defensive coordinator. They feel like that's going to make them better. I don't believe that. I don't. I think that it's a matter of players and putting guys in position to succeed. The Cincinnati Bengals offensively look like a juggernaut. I mean, you got Joe Burrow, who is arguably the best quarterback in the league. You got Jamar Chase, who had a monster season. You got T. Higgins, who is a really good number two, sometimes number one. I mean, you got a decent offensive line. You got a good running game. Nobody has an issue with the offense. Everybody knows the offense is going to be good. But if you have a defense that can't stop anybody, if you don't have a guy that can get the quarterback on the ground consistently, you aren't going to win anything. And I am very, very nervous about the career of Joe Burrow because I've seen this before. Growing up as a Saints fan, I watched Drew Brees throw for 300, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns. I mean, he was out there lighting up the scoreboard only for the defense to be the last line of defense and give up a big touchdown for them to lose the game. And I'm looking at Joe Burrow. I have seen him pull off magical moments, 4 touchdowns, 350 yards, throwing the ball to T. Higgins, throwing the ball to Jamar Chase, throwing the ball out the backfield to his running backs. I'm seeing him scramble and do all these amazing things offensively, but the defense can't stop anybody. What are you going to win? You're not going to win anything, and you're going to waste the prime years of Joe Burrow. And then also, the way that the Cincinnati Bengals are doing business, I'm telling you right now, guys around the National Football League, pay attention to this stuff. Joe Burrow is a very appealing piece of a person's decision trying to negotiate and maybe looking at the Cincinnati Bengals like, you know what? If I go there on the defensive side of football or the offensive side of football, we might win some football games. He helps them to be a destination spot. But what doesn't help them is the way that Mike Brown and the Cincinnati Bengals ownership do business. Lowballing guys, not paying guys that deserve to be paid, putting guys on the franchise tag, having them play year after year. Finally, you pay T. Higgins. This is not going to make you appealing for free agency. Guys are going to look at this situation and be like, man, I like Joe a lot, but I don't like the way the Cincinnati Bengals do business. They need to pay this man. He deserves to be the highest paid pass rush in the NFL. And if he's not the highest paid, he definitely needs to be second or third. 17 and a half sacks in back-to-back seasons. 17 and a half sacks for back-to-back seasons. You got guys who can't get that stat line in an 8-9 year career. And yet this guy sits up here and has a lunch pail mentality. And I'm very, very aware of Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson isn't the fastest guy in the world, right? I mean, everything that he has gotten in his football life, he has earned. He has pulled himself up by his bootstraps, and he's handling business. He is the cornerstone player on the defensive side of football. What the hell are the Cincinnati Bengals waiting for? Pay the man so he can come to camp, so he can be that defensive piece that you need to get the quarterbacks on the ground and give you some level of consistency up front on the defensive side of football. Because as long as you wait, as long as you prolong this situation, the worse it's going to get. And yes, you got Shamar Stewart in there, but I got to see what he can actually do on the field. Trey Hendrickson, you already know what he's going to give you because he has given you production year after year.